Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel Legal Scrutiny. Today we are discussing Reha Chakraborty and law relating to narcotic drugs in India. Reha Chakraborty has been booked under several sections of Narcotics Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act 1985, which is also commonly referred as NDPS Act of 1985. This act is designed to fulfill India's various treaty obligations under several public international laws. The NDPS Act of 1985 prohibits manufacturing, cultivation, transport, sale, purchase, storage of narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances. This act was basically enacted to consolidate and amend law relating to narcotic drugs and to provide for a stringent mechanism to control the operations of narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances. Now, Narcotics Control Bureau, the agency which is responsible for the investigation of Reha Chakraborty's case, is a specialized agency empowered under this particular act to investigate matters where there is a violation of any of the provisions of this particular act or there is a matter relating to narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances. Now, to understand Reha Chakraborty's case, we'll have to understand three sections of NDPS Act, Section 27A, Section 37 and Section 67. So these sections are wide in their operation and scope, but I'll be discussing these sections only in the context of Reha Chakraborty's case so as to keep the discussion very precise and to the point. So now Section 27A is a very strict and stringent provision. Reha Chakraborty was booked under several provisions of NDPS Act, but this 27A is the most problematic and the most severe section. And I say this because if she is convicted under Section 27 of NDPS Act, she'll have to undergo an imprisonment for a minimum period of 10 years, which can be extended up to 20 years. Not only that, this particular section attracts a bar on accused person's right of bail under Section 37 of NDPS Act. Section 37 of NDPS Act says somebody who's booked under Section 27A of NDPS Act shall not be released on bail. So this particular section, Section 27A, basically makes it a penal offense to finance illicit trafficking of narcotic drugs, and she has been booked under this particular section. And the constitutional courts of our country time and again has said that a liberal approach under Section 37 of NDPS Act in matters of bail is uncalled for. So this Section 37 of NDPS Act in respect of bail has always been interpreted very strictly and in a very stringent fashion. But if the court is satisfied that there are no reasonable grounds to believe that a case of Section 27A is being made out from the investigation, then the court can release Reha Chakraborty on bail, and that's the only way to bypass Section 37 and lift the bar of Section 37 under NDPS Act. Narcotics Control Bureau has recorded voluntary statements under Section 67 of NDPS Act from Reha Chakraborty and from other co-accused person. Now, voluntary statements recorded under Section 67 of NDPS Act carries evidentiary value. It's admissible in evidence, unlike Section 161 of CRPC. So if a accused person makes a statement to a police officer during the course of investigation under Section 161 CRPC, it is not admissible in evidence by virtue of Section 162 CRPC. But that is not the case here. But Reha Chakraborty and some of the other accused have already retracted from the recorded voluntary statement, and the court has deliberated on this particular issue, on the voluntariness of the recorded statement, and has held that at this stage of investigation, it cannot be held that the statements which are recorded under 67 of NDPS Act were not voluntary in nature and they were obtained under some sort of coercion or some sort of force. And therefore, the evidentiary value of the recorded voluntary statement under Section 67 remains intact. Now, NCB is contending that this voluntary statements under Section 67, coupled with the commercial and non-commercial recovery of narcotics drugs and the electronic evidence gathered and collected during the course of investigation, indicates that Reha Chakraborty was an active member of the drug syndicate, and not only that, she was directly or indirectly financing the illicit trafficking of narcotic drugs. And all the financial instruction and transactions were well within her knowledge. So that is why this Section 27 of NDPS Act has been levelled against her. Now, the learned court on 14th of September order has dealt with all these contentions in depth and has categorically observed that at this stage of investigation it cannot be held that there are no reasonable grounds to believe that Reha Chakraborty was not guilty of the offences she has been charged under. Now, it appears to me that Narcotics Control Bureau has made out a strong case against Reha Chakraborty. Now, we'll have to wait and see if NCB can corroborate the statements under 67 with that of the other evidences like electronic evidences, recoveries, etc., etc. Then it's going to be very difficult for Reha Chakraborty to lift the bar of section 37, and she might have to face a custody trial where she will be released only if she is acquitted by the court at the conclusion of trial. Thank you.